I mean, there's a guy on YouTube blows one of these things apart in like no time.
Yeah, but he's probably related to Tranny Dave or something.
Probably is.
His name might be Ben Miller. I don't know.
No, I don't think it's Ben Miller. I don't know what I'm doing. It's the first time I've ever dug into a transmission before. I just say, if I can take it apart, I can put it back together.
This ain't the first time you dug into transmissions. It's the like 7th time I just.
I mean, like inside into the transmission. Well, so video's not over yet, so that means we had issues. And the issues is the Jeep will not shift out of first gear. I have first gear in reverse. So I got on the old interwebs and looking, and I found a place where, you know, forums that said you could unplug the little transmission computer under the dash. So I did that and drive it, and it should be able to shift mechanically as I'm going from 1, 2 should be first gear. When you go to 3, it should shift to 3rd gear, and when you go to 4th or drive, it should shift to 4th gear. That didn't happen. Another thing I found said maybe the throttle position sensor. Changed it, didn't fix anything. So anyhow, this is the transmission out of my 95 that had sitting here. It was, there wasn't no, it was just ready to collapse in on itself, so we went ahead and scrapped it. But so we're gonna swap these transmissions and see, pray that maybe the transmission got damaged somehow where the fluid was pouring out of it. But our solenoid wire has been ripped apart, so we get to play with all that. These wires should be here somewhere, and I'm missing one that I couldn't find in there, dig out. But we're going to pull this apart, and then we're going to pull the old one back out of the Jeep, swap that solenoid wire around. I got a new filter and gasket for this. We'll go ahead and change the front seal again like we did on that one. And different torque converter that was with this one. And the Jeep drove fine when we scrapped it. The motor's actually in my Jeep because the motor in that Jeep had a blown head. Well, load head gasket, cracked valve, or cracked head in between the valves, and then a bent valve. I don't even know how the guy was driving it. But so we're just gonna do some swapping around and see what we can figure out. Daggone. Good gracious. Okay. We might be using that oil pan. How about we just do that?
Okay.
Heck, why fight with it? Figure that out later. Feels like we've been here before. I'm not sure, but it feels like we've been here before. Well, there ain't no 8 quarts oil in there, so we do know that much.
Yeah, but inside she looks brand new.
See, those have been jerked off. They're supposed to be on these.
Jeez.
And there's that
Other wire.
other wire. So what we have to do is, when we take that one out, we will have to, that's straight up. It looks like it just broke the clip. So them are still straight. So we're good there. Or what about we do this? What about if we leave it in there, drain the oil out, leave it in there, take these solenoids off, put them in that one and see what happens.
I bet that'd be easier.
It's way easier because you're just,
If that's all it is, then why not? I mean, that makes more sense.
we could do that and
Give it a try.
give it a, especially popping the whole thing again.
Yeah.
So
I
you
think the
gotta-
solenoids are all the same. I want to say when I was researching, they said they're all the same solenoid.
Okay.
It's just the different positions.
And the wires where they hook up on that. All right.
Yeah.
We could drain the oil out of that one. Pull that cover.
And we can also,
That'd be a much quicker fix too.
well, we can also take, let's do that, and then we'll also take the whole valve body off and pull it out and make sure we don't got any blockages in all them valleys. Where we change the oil and all that stuff, maybe something is restricting something.
Could be.
We'll do that. All right, well, let's do this. So, come in here, cameraman. So, what we're gonna do, we nixed changing it out yet. What we're gonna do is take the solenoids off here and replace it inside, but we're also, because it'd be easier to see here, we're gonna take all these little bolts off, all the way through, and we will take the valve body off, and I'll pull it out so we can see and look and discuss. There's springs underneath there. We'll just have to take it off slow. Why don't we take this one off and go and see what we're getting into there.
Okay. That makes sense.
I mean, there's a guy on YouTube blows one of these things apart in like no time.
Yeah, but he's probably related to Tranny Dave or something.
Probably is.
His name might be Ben Miller. I don't know.
No, I don't think it's Ben Miller. I don't know what I'm doing. It's the first time I've ever dug into a transmission before. I just say, if I can take it apart, I can put it back together.
This ain't the first time you dug into transmissions. It's the like 7th time I just.
I mean like inside, into the transmission. These are longer.
The longest one just came out of right below the solenoid.
Well, so, see how this is indented in? That was the short one.
Mm-hmm.
So this one's further. Let's see if further, shorter, short, same size.
This door.
Same size, long. All right, that wire's loose. All right, slowly back it off. Okay, so then we'd have
I'm not gonna fall out and hit you in the head on that other one.
that one's in there. That one's.
Big old springs.
I want that to stay in there if you can.
Problem is, if we're upside down pulling that out,
It's all right. Oh, this is gonna be dripping everywhere.
how are you gonna hold those in the springs when we're
Look,
upside down?
it's like you gotta pull
Do they
pretty
lock
good.
in pretty
Yeah,
good?
you gotta pull pretty hard on it.
That
This will
one.
fall out. but it's just a spring and a spring. There you go, yellow together. Which I don't know what that's gonna look like, but they just go back in there. So we do that, I guess, and then we take these bolts off once I bring it out to open up. There's a lot to that, son. Well, let's pause for a second. So, anyhow, so we're just pondering, trying to figure out what we're gonna do here, because I don't know what I'm doing. Just like we said before, I'm gonna own this dude out on known good ones. Maybe we won't own them out on known good ones. Maybe that one ain't a good one. That one owned out. 12.13, 14. Jumping everywhere. Okay, so these are so 13, 14-ish. It is jumping around everywhere. Let's take the buzzer off. 12.5, 14, 12.7. Okay, that one's reading, but reading different. 0.69.
You say they're all the same.
I don't know if they're all the same. They look the same. You would assume with them doing what they do, they're just moving a valve. So you'd think they would be the same. But if you look here, that's different. That's got a different back than this one's got. And these two look the same. So I don't really know, and this one's reading 0.68 kiloohms, where this one's reading 13, 12 ohms. .6 ohms, 12.7 ohms, 6.68 kiloohms. We need to write that down. Yeah, see, bell housing, solenoid, back solenoid.
Fancy diagram.
Yeah! Alright, so let's drain his transmission pan. Take the transmission pan off and go from there. And we can also ohm out the wires. We'll do that too. We'll ohm out the wires to see if the end and the plug side has continuity also.
Okay.
So that way,
similar to a starter.
similar to the starter I just fixed on my buddy's van yesterday. That story was a story. So, forget what did he say it was. It's like a 2000. It's a Chrysler Town and Country van. It's a newer-ish. I think it's 18. I don't know, 11, 18, something. It's got the 3.6 motor in it. Well, we went out there a month and a half ago. We checked it real quick. He went and turned the key. The relay clicked in, but the starter didn't do nothing. So I told him to get started. He got started. The starter worked for a month. Well, didn't quit. We're like, what the crap? Which he bought on Amazon, so he's like, well, Probably just messed up and bought a cheapo Amazon, you know, starter. So he bought a AutoZone starter, put it on. They drove it one evening and it quit again. I'm like, there's something weird going on. So finally had time to go, and this was what, a week ago? 2 weeks, a week ago, I guess, 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago, whenever it was. So I went over there yesterday, and I got this little, I don't even know, tester light deal that you can feed it 24 volts, or you can feed it a ground, by which way you push the button to check things. So on the solenoid wire at the starter, I poked it and I started the starter. So the starter's fine. So I cut back the wire about 4 inches or so, spliced it, thinking maybe, you know, that wire gets a little hot, gets brittle, cracks. Sometimes it's got connection, and other times as she drove or whatever, it vibrated and lost connection. Well, fired off. Cool. So we put everything up and started again. Or he goes start again and it just clicks again. I'm like, well, the way it is, you gotta take a motor mount off just to get to the starter, and then the solenoid's at the very top of the starter, so you gotta take the starter out to get to the wire. So we end up, I say, well, he's like, why don't we just put a push button start on it? We could do that, but you know, it's a nice van. So I take the tipping apart, find the wire coming out of the tippum, and splice into it and run a whole new wire. It started 8 times, so hopefully it works. And Sean, if I don't answer the phone when you call, it's because I blocked you. I'm not dealing with it anymore. So, anyways, I'm kidding. Anyways, that was my adventure yesterday. So yes, we will check the wires. I don't think it got hung up when we pulled it out the first time. The only thing that we got hung up was the throwdown cable, the TV cable here. So I don't think we're gonna have issues with the wiring in the harness, but let's just safe than sorry. Check it, and then if we don't have continuity on all the wires, we'll run a new wire in the loom or something and splice it at each end or something. I don't know. We'll figure something out.